Hello class, today we're going to read And to Think That I Saw That on Mulberry Street by Dr. Seuss. Here's a picture of the little boy on Mulberry Street. And there's the title page. Alright. When I leave home to walk to school, Dad always says to me, "Marco, keep your eyelids up and see what you can see." But when I tell him where I've been and what I think I've seen, he looks at me sternly and says, "Your eyesight is much too keen. Stop telling such outlandish tales. Stop turning minnows into whales. Now what can I say when I get home today?" Do any of you guys walk to school? I know I've walked home from school before. All the long way to school and all the way back, I've looked and I've kept careful track. But all that I've noticed, except my own feet, was a horse and a wagon on Mulberry Street. There's nothing to tell of. That won't do, of course. Just a broken down wagon that's drawn by a horse. That can't be my story. That's only a start. I'll say a zebra was pulling the cart. Have you guys ever seen zebras at the zoo before? And that is a story that no one can beat when I say that I saw it on Mulberry Street. Yes, the zebra is fine, but I think it's a shame. Such a marvelous beast, with a cart that's so tame. That story would really be better to hear if the driver I saw were a charioteer, a gold and blue chariot, something to me, rumbling like thunder down Mulberry Street. No, it won't do at all. A zebra's too small. A reindeer's better. He's fast and he's fleet, and he'd look mighty smart on old Mulberry Street. You see how big his drawings are getting? Hold on a minute. There's something wrong. A reindeer hates the way it feels to pull a thing that runs on wheels. He'd be much happier instead if he could pull a fancy sled. Does it remind you guys of Christmas time? A reindeer in a sleigh. Say, anyone could think of that. Jack or Fred or Joe or Nate. Say, even Jade could think of that. But it isn't too late to make one little change. A sleigh and an elephant. There's something that's strange. I'll pick one with plenty of power and size, a blue one with plenty of fun in his eyes, and then, just to give him a little more tone, have a Raha with rubies perched high on a throne. Say that makes a story no one can beat when I say that I saw it on Mulberry Street. But now I don't know. It doesn't seem right. An elephant pulling a thing that's so light would whip it around like an air in a kite, but he'd look simply grand with a big brass band. A band that's so good should have someone to hear it, but it's going so fast that it's hard to keep near it. I'll pull it in a trailer. I know they won't mind if a man sits and listens while hitched on behind. But now, is it fair? Is it fair what I've done? I'll bet those wagons weigh more than a ton. That's really too heavy for one beast. I'll give him some helpers. He needs two at least. You guys see how big this is getting now? And look, we've got giraffes, we've got an elephant. But now, what worries me is this. Mulberry Street runs into bliss. Unless there's something I can fix up, there'll be an awful traffic mix-up. It takes police to do the trick, to guide them to where the crowd's thick. It takes police to do the trick. They'll never crash now. They'll race at top speed, with Sergeant McVelney himself in the lead. The mayor is there, and he thinks that it is grand, and he raises his hat as they dash by the sand. The mayor is there, and aldermen too, all waving big banners of red, white, and blue. And that is a story no one can beat when I say that I saw it on Mulberry Street. With a roar of its motor, an airplane appears and dumps out confetti while everyone cheers. And that makes a story. It's really not bad, but still it could be better. Suppose that I add. What else do you guys think he could add? A Chinese man who eats with sticks, a big magician doing tricks, a 10-foot beard that needs a comb. No time for more, I'm almost home. I swung round the corner and dashed to the gate. I ran up the steps, and it felt great, for I had a story that no one could beat, and to think that I saw it on Mulberry Street. But Dad said calmly, "Just draw up your stool and tell me the sights on the way home from school." There was so much to tell, I just couldn't begin. Dad looked at me sharply and pulled at his chin. He frowned at me sternly from there in his seat. Was there nothing to look at? No people to greet? Did nothing excite you or make your heart beat? Nothing, I said, growing red as a beet, but a plain horse in a wagon on Mulberry Street.